Good, good morning. Welcome to the Book of HERBrews podcast. We are glad you're joining us this week. And man, do we have a couple things to talk about. There's been a lot of exciting things. Oh wait, no, still COVID. I would say I'm probably the most frustrated I've been during the COVID season right now. I think I'm starting to get stir crazy.
Yeah, it's been too long.
It has. This is right about the time. So September is when it really starts. When fall hits, you typically do a back to church Sunday, and you build it up real big. But you can't do that right now. We are doing Light the Night.
Yes.
Which I'm excited about, to be able to still somehow reach out to our community. I mean, that's what we're all about here at Journey is reaching out, and so to be able to still do that in a way that's creative, I think is really fun. I'm excited to see how that all works out, and I'm thankful that the snow won't be here for that.
Sure.
But I'm stir crazy. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely. It's been a long time, and I get stir crazy towards the winter because you go out less, you're inside more, less light and everything like that. But that combined with the fact that that was the same thing that happened this summer.
Right. We haven't had the availability to be able to do life. Yeah. And I think in not even looking at the Christian aspect of this, where I love the gathering together of people when we have church. It just I guess I miss our family. The church family. I miss seeing people's faces. Even more so, because now you still don't even see their faces because of stupid masks. Everybody walking around like Bane. And they sound like him. Oh, you really adopted the dark. Type deal.
That is the thing that annoys me the most. Is I naturally mumble. Right. And then you add a mask on top of it, and my wife can't understand me. I'll be sitting there and be like, "Can you pass me the water bottle?" What?
You sound
you
like
want Scott? No, the water bottle.
Sound like the Cookie Monster trying to talk.
Exactly. I think that's honestly
try teaching it.
Stupid. Yeah.
Teaching at the school now. And it's frustrating because I got the mask on and I'm trying to do the best I can to try to teach, and I'm already feel what am I doing here? And now you put me behind a mask and I'm like, this just is terrible.
How can the kid in the back even hear you?
I can't hear the kid in the back. I got some girls who, even without a mask, they are the sweetest, most just quiet little things ever. I got a 7th grade class that I teach, and I have a couple girls in there that they are just so meek and just sweet, and just my old English teacher, Miss Allen, she would have called them her beautiful little acorns.
Okay.
She was awesome. Miss Allen was amazing. But they're those type of girls. And I know you can't pick me up on the video because I'm talking so quiet. But I literally feel like your mouth's moving. I know you're talking, but I can't hear nothing. And because of those masks, it even makes it worse.
You don't even know you don't even know their mouth is moving. You don't even know they're talking.
I tell one girl, okay, remember, if you're going to talk to me, you got to yell at me. And she's like, I don't like to yell. Get angry.
What do I got to do?
But no, I think right now, I don't know about you, but I am the most, I think, frustrated that I've been since all this has started, because I just feel handcuffed.
Yeah.
And
going into the holiday season. Yeah. You're looking at I don't know exactly what they're eventually end up saying about Thanksgiving and Christmas, but
it's a train wreck.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to my family's house on Christmas. You're not gonna take that away.
Yeah, and that's what I don't get. And there's so many different things going around. Once the election, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I
maybe
at this point, I don't know. All I know is it's frustrating, and I feel like everywhere I turn, I can't. And my wife and I, Tanya and I, were talking about this last night. We just feel like you can't get a leg up, and you can't move forward, and we've been in this holding pattern, so to speak. Have you ever watched Wonder Woman?
No.
Have you watched Wonder Woman? Okay, so I thought for sure I was gonna hate this movie.
Okay.
No offense to anybody who liked it. When Tanya's like, I want to watch Wonder Woman, I was like, good Lord, it's probably gonna be like the Notebook superhero style. That's what I thought. It's gonna be stupid. It's gonna be a chick flick, and not that I don't mind chick flicks, but I've never been a Wonder Woman fan. it did not interest me at all. But my wife's like, I want to watch this.
So you're gonna watch it.
Okay. You know? So we were laying there watching it, and it was awesome. I absolutely thought it was a great movie. I'd watch it again in a heartbeat. And so we watched this movie, and there's a scene in it, and I'm not giving away the story or anything, but there's a scene in it where she's about ready to go into war, so to speak, and it's during World War II, and she's in this foxhole with all these soldiers. And they're like, you can't go out there, you can't go out there. And she's like, why? And she goes, we're in no man's land. And the no man's land is where nobody was gaining ground, but you weren't losing it. You were just, it was a standoff. And there was this ground in between that nobody would enter because you get shot. And so I feel like that's where we've been, is we've been sitting in this no man's land and can't move forward. You can't go anywhere. You hear the bullets zinging by your head, and what I mean by that is I feel like the enemy has used this time as for the church to try to ground us, and to stop the church from moving. And I think it's time maybe we get bold, and not bold in a disrespectful way or bold in a sense of being rebellious, but God is the God who is all powerful, all knowing. He's the God who is the greatest creator. So tells me that he's the one who inspires creativity, right? Shouldn't the church be at the forefront of that? Should be. Okay. Then I think that we need to start thinking of creative ways to go around. And there's some churches who are doing that. I'll say the Grove Church, when all this started, they were the first ones to hit with the drive-in church, which, I mean, churches all over the nation picked up on that idea. And shout out to Pastor Nick for doing that. I mean, amazing creativity, and his team there just rock stars. But what are we doing? And even at Journey Church, I've asked this question myself a lot. How can we get out of no man's land? And I've been struggling with that for a while. And this is, all that to intro this question is, with all these people who watch, I think a lot of them feel in this sense too, of we're in no man's land because we don't know what to do. So for you, like as a youth pastor, I mean, I'm sure you feel the same thing.
It's crazy. I mean, for one, like, I don't know what I was doing when I started. And then...
Do we ever?
Yeah, I mean, you threw this on top of it, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, the good news is I already didn't know what I was doing, so I'm not anymore.
The great news is everybody else got thrown in your boat.
Exactly. And so we're all figuring it out together.
Whether it was a pastor or a youth pastor who'd been in it for 15, 20 years, you know, the veterans, they got thrown into the same boat. And I bet a bunch of y'all felt like it was the Titanic.
Well, especially, I mean, we literally got 3 weeks in. We had 3 services.
That's right, you guys did 3 weeks in.
We had 3 services.
And
I was sick the 3rd week. I wasn't even there.
It wasn't COVID.
It wasn't COVID. I had the flu.
Not the COVID flu.
Not the COVID flu.
The regular flu. You gotta specify.
Right?
You're either COVID or you gotta remind people, hey, there's normal sick too.
Yes, exactly.
I can have a cough and it not be COVID.
Yeah. I was remembering so frustrated. I wasn't even there the last week we had.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about your attendance here.
Right? Come on.
Oh man. You know, but I mean, so many things got derailed this year. I mean, one thing that I was truly heartbroken about getting derailed was Journey Conference.
Oh yeah.
You know, because we threw last year's Journey Conference, Pastor Todd and his team came, it was off the hook. I had some insane stuff getting planned, and I mean, you know this. I mean, we reached out some pretty incredible speakers that we're working on getting in line to come. So be looking for 2021 Journey Conference. We got some people in the pipeline that are going to come, and they're going to bring it. And of course, and I haven't talked with him to confirm yet, but I'm pretty certain that, you know, our brother and our friend Pastor Aaron from the Cause over in CDA will be with us as always, because I mean, I always love hearing that dude preach. That dude can throw a word, And so, I mean, I'm sure he'll be with us next year, but even that, I mean, I got some people in line, which I'm not going to spoil any yet, but I mean, you know some of the names that we're talking about, and some of them who had responded back.
Yeah.
And so to have them come into Journey, I mean, we're going to shake the foundations of hell. We're going to tear this community up.
Take some territory.
Yeah, and take some territory. But I think it's easy to get, and we've been talking with one of my mentors, Pastor Kevin, from the church, Visalia, and yesterday we had that meeting where he made a great statement that I think a lot of times we make statements rather than ask questions in our lives and in our ministries, and that thing right there really hit me yesterday. And I think with COVID we made a lot of statements. We can't. I think it's time we start going, but what can we? Yeah. And you know, I don't know who this is for this morning, but maybe you need to switch the lens that you're looking through from the statement to a question of, you might be given the statement you can't. What does that look like to start asking different questions and putting those into context? So like for us, you know, one thing that we wanted to do is outreach. And so we got told we can't. Yeah. So we started asking questions. What can we do and how can we do it? You know, so we have a completely COVID safe. We, my wife and the team, you were part of that, made bags to hand out that has not been touched by human hands. Yes. I mean, they were gloved up, masked up, sanitized, everything, and has been placed into bags that are being kept away from everybody and everything, so that on Saturday night, when they drive through, and they're even going to have games that they play out the windows of the cars. It's going to be awesome. With lights and a sound system that's going to wake up, you know, the dead. It's going to be great. That's the plan. All for Jesus. But we're going to hand out candy to people just so we can love our community. Yeah. To me, and I'm not going to get on the Halloween debate because that's just, I don't care. Not that I don't care of people's feelings, but I'm not looking at it for Halloween. I'm looking at it as this. We want to be a church that gets people one step closer to Jesus. How do you do that with Halloween? Easy. We show them love and give them a safe place to come. And we give them Jesus. We show them Jesus. We tell them Jesus. And then we give them candy. But that's me. So we started doing that. But now, I mean, our next thing is, how do we be creative with Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Well, and that's going to be super fun to see. I mean, we kind of got a little bit of a test. Yeah. And so we kind of know generally how the logistics of it will work. But I'm interested to see, because I mean we had a great turnout last year. Yeah, I mean I'm interested to see, like, are we going to have a similar turnout or even better? I
hope it's better.
I mean, obviously,
I do. Better. I hope it's better. But I mean, we had over 200 people. We ran out of seats. Yeah,
quite literally.
Like, how are we going to? I don't know how we had enough turkey.
Yeah, I seriously don't know
just
how
kept coming.
We ran out of seats. Yep. But we didn't run out of food. I don't get that.
Yeah, because we
were not planning. We had to put more seats out.
Yeah, we only had enough food, I think, for like 120 people, and we fed over 200.
Yeah. It was seriously.
Just kept.
I mean, Jesus was just multiplying.
It was just a miracle.
Carbs.
That's no joke. That is no joke.
Yeah.
We watched that happen.
It was crazy.
We're finding turkeys that I don't even think we bought. It was insane. Where does turkey come from? Yeah. So. But yeah, I don't know. I'm frustrated, but I'm also determined. You know, so I think that's the thing that I want to focus on more. It's easy. I was talking to my class yesterday that so often we get so caught up in negative, and we declare negative over our lives, and we walk in that negativity of the desperation and the depression, the anxiety, and we walk in all this stuff, and we speak these things into our life and who we are, and we start identifying ourselves as that rather than speaking what God has created in us and what God says about us and what God has in store for us. And I told him, I said, listen, I got mad at my class yesterday. It's the first time I've ever yelled at my class. And like, it really ticked me off. I said, listen, I said, I'm done. Like, I will not accept what you're saying right now. It's garbage. And I said, you are speaking things that do not line up. I said, you guys are speaking things that, listen, you are not what you're saying you are. You are not these things. But let me tell you what the word says. You know, because one of the things I live by, and you've heard me say this more times than you can probably count, it's not about, I guess I should say it like this. I'll just say the quote. One of my favorite quotes that I say all the time, and I remind myself, to identify the who you are, you have to know the whose you are. And so for me, I have to remind myself I'm more than a conqueror. I was created in his image. I have to remind myself that when I don't have wisdom, I can ask for it. I have to remind myself that he is in charge of all things, and that if he's in charge of all things, he has those things worked out for me already. And so the quote, and we don't understand everything that's going on. And so many times when we don't understand things, we begin to doubt God. Yeah. Shout out to the new series, I Doubt It, coming to you this Sunday. You know, but J.D. Greer in his book talks about this, and there's a quote that says, "A God that is small enough to understand is not big enough to be worshipped." Yeah. And I don't understand COVID season. I don't understand everything that goes on in my life. But the one thing that I have to remind myself is I can't doubt in those seasons. I have to lean into him and his understanding. Because right after, in that verse in Isaiah where it talks about, for our ways are not his ways, our thoughts are not his thoughts, so much higher are his thoughts and his ways than our ways. It goes on, and the conclusion, and I should say the climax of that verse says, because whatever goes out of his mouth never returns void. So in other words, it never fails. Well, in this COVID season, in this season of frustration, this season of dreariness and depression and anxiety and helplessness and stagnation and no man's land, God already said we won. And that we will be more than conquerors, that we will overcome the things that stand in our way, not just us as a church, not just us as people, that we have to realize for us personally, that we're going to be okay if we keep walking in and lean into him when we have doubt. So I don't know, that's my thoughts for the day. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing I noticed for me, as soon as COVID started, my prayer time changed completely. It went from, okay, I kind of know what I want and kind of what I'm saying, to I have no clue. And I think often, and what I found myself doing is I just don't know what to pray, so I don't pray.
Yeah. How many people are like that?
Yeah, it's just I don't have words. I have absolutely no clue as to what's happening. Yeah. So I don't even know what to pray for. And I actually listened to a speaker. The funny thing is, this church is actually named Journey Church. They're down in Florida.
Pastor JJ Vasquez.
I love him.
Oh, that guy's awesome.
He did a series called Prayer Goats.
That dude can pray.
Oh my
dude,
Lord.
That dude can preach.
Yes, he can.
That brother's anointed.
Insane. I love him.
That brother's anointed. I had people ask me, I forgot about JJ, because JJ's been up to the Northwest plenty of times.
Oh yeah.
And has spoke youth conferences and stuff like that before he became a lead pastor. And so when we announced we were going to Journey Church, I had people asking me, "Oh, are you tied in with JJ from here?" I was like, "What?" And then I found out his church name was Journey Church too, and I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome!" I didn't know, but man, Sure, we're tied in with JJ. Right? We're cousins. We're all connected in the Lord anyway. But man, I love that guy, and man, that guy can preach. That guy can preach, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you were saying JJ.
Yeah, I was listening to one of his sermons because he did a series called Prayer Goats a little while ago, and he was breaking down how to pray. Yeah. And he's oftentimes we feel like we need to have these elegant words and stuff like that. And he's God just he wants you to include him in it. Whatever it is. Yell at him, scream at him. You can try to punch him, you're not going to, but
we complicate prayer so bad. And why? People are it's so hard to pray. No, it's not. You can talk to anybody else, but and here's the thing. We talk to ourselves more than we talk to God.
Sure.
And the fact of the matter is we flip the script on talking to ourselves and actually put our complaints to the Lord rather than ourselves. We might get a better answer.
That's true.
And so, pastors are supposed to pray elegantly. I'm pretty sure people think we're supposed to pray in the King James. Thou gracious and heavenly Father,
right?
We're supposed to sound Shakespearean. But man, I'll tell you what, if some people heard my prayer, my prayer time when it's just me and Jesus. Yeah. The Mondays after a terrible Sunday, I don't know, people watching, we never have terrible Sundays. Yeah. this is raw pastor stuff right here. Is sometimes people aren't nice, and I'll say there's more critics than there are compliments, and not that we're searching for compliments, but it gets wearisome when it's always critique after critique after critique that you hear. I guarantee you, I could truly say I probably hear 10 negative critiques to one positive thing about Sunday service.
And that's probably generous.
And so you have these burdens. So you walk in on a Monday to have prayer time, which I have my Monday set aside for me and Jesus, and I think though it's so handy for me because I come in there and I have some prayer times where my first words are, God, I quit. You know, like I quit, like I can't do this anymore. Why me? God, why me? And he reminds me, dude, if I can use a donkey, I can use you. You know, I'm like, true. It's true. But there's been those prayer times where I've just felt helpless. And seriously, if somebody walked in on my prayer time, they'd be like, what? You're a pastor?
Yeah.
As I'm crying, going, God, I hate it here. You know, not here, but, you know, like just the stuff that's going on. You get so frustrated and overwhelmed, and you cry out to the Lord as if he's a dad, you know, and people don't realize that's what he wants.
Oh, yeah.
So
he wants to be included.
Yeah.
He doesn't care how, just wants to be included.
You know, we'll talk about this more in the series, too, as we get into the I Doubt It series. You know, do you think God's so small that he can't handle your argument?
Yeah. Like,
you think he can't handle your frustration? Are you so much bigger and greater than God that you can tell him what to do? No. I doubt it.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't think he can handle your doubt? You know, look at some of the prophets and some of the people in Scripture that went to Jesus or followed the Lord, and they're called these great men, and some of them are in the Hall of Faith, you know, and so, but some of them had some of the biggest screw ups and the most doubt they ever had, you know, and so, and I always joke about when Peter was in the boat and Jesus walked on the water, and Jesus, if really you call me out, he says, all right, come. Peter goes, oh, he called us out. Thomas, you gonna go? Thomas goes, I doubt it. You know, and you know, so I always joke about that because Thomas is known as the doubter, but you know, Thomas also went on to be one of the greatest missionaries and also a martyr for the faith. And to me, he didn't doubt when it was crucial. And so, but there's great things coming. We love you. We appreciate your time. And like I said, if you got some subjects you want us to hit on during these times, during the Book of HERBrews, don't hesitate to shoot us a message. You can comment in the thing. Share if you watch this, go ahead and give us a like and a share. Send it to your friends, and hopefully they'll enjoy it and get some stuff out of this. This is just two pastors getting together, and I'm drinking coffee and he watches. But you know, we just get to come together and kind of share our hearts and love on you guys a little bit. But from us, we're out.